Look at Pro Stock as they come to the line in their fourth and final session of qualifying. And here are the standings. Mike Edwards sits number 1, followed by Jason Line and Alan Johnson. That's Roger Brogdon down there in fourth, and Anderson, Morgan, Fisher, and Ronnie Humphrey.
And the field is set as we take a look at our bottom 8. Erica Enders in that 9th spot. Shane Gray 10th. Vincent Nobile on the starting line now. He's 11th. And how about Mark Wolf on the bump spot with a 665.7.
And those not in the field, well, sadly, once again, it includes Warren Johnson. Boy, I'd like that guy to have a much better weekend. The professor has so much history behind him. With the field being set now, we're looking for improving on our positions. Trying to do it right now is one of those candidates for the Rookie of the Year, Vincent Nobile, and Greg Stanfield, who has been struggling in qualifying. Last win on the tour, Indy, 2010.
Yeah, and obviously that was the start of the countdown last season. He went in the countdown last year 8th in the points, and Greg Stanfield was able to finish 2nd at the end of the season. Started the countdown once again in 8th, but he has struggled big time. Vincent was struggling in the countdown until 2 weeks ago in Phoenix when he picked up the win and got back on track.
Both in the bottom half of the field. We do know that this track's capable of some improvement. Nobile, 666, 667 for Stanfield. There is no improvement there for either one. Vincent will remain 11th, and Stanfield will remain 14th. And as long as we're talking about Vincent Nobile, let's talk about that Rookie of the Year battle. They are not the only two guys in it, but they are the two with the spotlight on them right now. And the voting, well, it'll begin on Monday right after this event is over. And so the pair up on the line right now, Steve Kent and Ronnie Humphrey. How about that Rookie of the Year, Stat Guy?
Well, here's something you want to think about. I do believe Vincent Nobile has done more with less horsepower, and here's the numbers. Hector's average qualifying start, 4.5. Vincent Nobile's 8.1, pretty much in the bottom half of the field. Mike, I think Vincent has done more with the driving compared to the horsepower.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that, but they've both done a fantastic job, and it's pretty close battle, I think, right up to this point.
Let's go to Dave Reef.
Down in the pits with Jack Beckman in the DSR hospitality area, where there was a lot of things going on because, well, there are championship contenders everywhere, including this man, Jack Beckman, the guy who went from 5th to 1st in Phoenix. And Jack, I got to ask you, when you started that day in 5th, did you think you could come out with a lead?
Yeah, but there was so many things that the cars ahead of us had to falter at that I didn't think that was going to happen. And Gary Gerald came by and was making a comment of us. You had said at Charlotte we were flying under the radar. Gary Gerald said here's a team that could sneak up. And then we left there in 1st place. But I tell you this, from 5th to 1st, we're closer to 5th right now than that spread where we went to 1st. So it stayed super tight.
What was going on with your helmet, man? You could get that helmet off after the win.
Have you seen the size of this head? Let me tell you, I cranked down that strap. I don't take any chances because we got a chin strap and the Hutchins device on there, and it's got a little release tab that folded on up in there. It took 6 of us and a jar of Vaseline to get that thing off.
I hear you got a big guy here who's just going to grab your feet and pull it off if we have to have that issue again. I do have to ask you, it was 5 points coming in. We've talked a lot about, and we know that we're keeping tabs of these little points, as are you. You know, technically tied right now, still qualifying points to be awarded. Little points, though, that's what's gotten you, and you've never been a fan of those. And I know you love to get on a soapbox and tell us why every opportunity you get. So why don't you like those little
points? What are you saying, Dave?
Yeah. You don't like little points.
You know
that's what I'm telling you.
I don't want to sound like sour grapes and say that I'm complaining about something because it affects us. Before NHRA instituted it, I didn't think it was a good idea. Our rounds used to be worth 200 points. Number 1 qualifier was worth 16. It meant you'd have to do it 13 times to make up a round of racing. In 95, they cut it down to 20 points for a round, 8 points for qualifying number 1. You'd have to do it 3 times to make up 1 round of racing. Now you can literally have 1 round's worth of points before you get to Sunday just from qualifying. Qualifying points should be tiebreaker points, not substitutes for winning rounds. You and I could qualify for the first 20 races. You could win 18 rounds, I could win none, and I could be leading you with 18 less round wins because I out-qualified you.
I'm going to have to go to the stat guy on that. We'll get the calculator out. I'm sure we can do all that. But 2006, your first win in a funny car right here. Coming back here, how good of a feeling is it to be here and be in this position with good karma.
Yeah, it's cool because this is the track that I probably raced at the most as a sportsman once I started pursuing the NHRA stuff. Because Pomona, even though I taught there for 10 years, you can only race there twice a year. So it's very much a home track atmosphere. What I didn't think about is because of that, oh my God, do I have a lot of people here who want to talk to me. So we're going to clone me ×3, put 2 of them at the ropes, and then I can go concentrate on driving the car.
Well, he has got a championship crew tender that got Cruz Pedregon to a championship not so long ago. So he's hoping that he can ride his tune-up all the way to the championship. Thanks, Jack.
Well, here's Erica Enders and Larry Morgan. Erica's trying to get into the top half of the field. Morgan's already there. Erica runs a 6:64. Low of the round. Don't forget the little points, though. In Pro Stock, it's less of an issue, but they're going to stay where they were. Let's go to John Kernan.
And back in the pits as Larry Dixon is taking care of some of his responsibilities with the fuel mixture. And Larry, I hope we're not interrupting too much here.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Okay, so you got your 9th right now in qualifying. You're 2nd in the points. You need to make up some ground with those little bonus points. Can you guys do that in this next and final session?
Well, no, I mean, not really. I mean, you got to be smart and you got to race the track, do as much as you can. Obviously, Jason McCall is going to do everything we can to improve our time, but you can't just think about, I mean, I think about round points because round points are 20. I mean, everybody can have them 1s and 2s if I can have the 20s. So we'll just go out there, do our best job we can for Shea Cal, the Country Qatar, Alan Abbey, Toyota Redline, and see what we can do.
He wants those big points, not the little ones. And you know what? He was a math major.
Well, then we need him in the booth here because obviously neither Mike or I can do it. And Lewis, he's got so many numbers he's going with. Get well to Bob Fry. He came here not feeling so good, isn't working the PA, and obviously one of the great announcers ever on PA, and of course part of the Lucas Oil Show as well. Here is Roger Brogdon. Can you believe it? His record-setting run from Gainesville is now the 6th quickest run in history. And there's Ron Krischer. Best start of this year, a 4th, both at Pomona and at Las Vegas. So this track might help him out. Right now he's 7th. Brogdon is 4th.
And Ron has been making some pretty good runs here at the Strip and consistent runs. He is in the top half of the field. So far this session, Pro Stock, just like the motorcycles, they're running about 1 to 200 off of their best runs of the weekend. So the conditions appear to be just slightly worse than the best session. Oh, Roger really working the wheel off that launch.
66.3, 207.24.
You hear the call to Roger Brogdon, 666 with a 3. For Krischer, it's a 666 with a 7. They'll stay 4th and 7th. Crew chief and driver Mike Neff warms it up. And by picking up 3 of those little points, he now moves 19 points behind that tied combination for number 1, Beckman and Hagan. And we are back at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where here on Sunday we will have final eliminations in the Big O Tires Nationals. 7 o'clock is when we're on the air on ESPN2. The NHRA Full Throttle Drag Racing Series. The KB drivers, Greg Anderson and Jason Line. Line's pretty much a lock. Mike Dunn certainly believes that for number 1. Number 2, still very much in question. Vincent Nobile trying to knock Greg Anderson out of that position. And you see Ken Black there. Well, this is his hometown, and so they want to put on a show for him. They also would like to come away 1 and 2 in the points at the end of the season.
Jason Lyons currently qualified number 2, as you see right there. But normally you see these 2 cars running at the end of the session. They I wouldn't say they've actually struggled. Mike Edwards, though, has been making some monster runs. You know, started running very well when he was number 1 qualifier 2 weeks ago in Phoenix. He's currently holding that number 1 spot. Jason and Greg want to try to take it away from him, but I don't think they can do it because that was a great pass. Jason, though, good 60 foot. Let's see if he can finish it off. Nope.
Not enough to get him around Mike Edwards. Line 662, 667 for Greg Anderson. Let's go to John Kernan.
I'm back in the pits with Antron Brown, currently qualified number 7. But Antron, you got one more session here to improve that. Maybe grab some bonus points, which could go a long way in winning you the championship, right?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, all these rounds right now are really crucial. They're very important, and this Mac O'Toole team knows that. So We're going to go in here, and we're just going to go here very poised. We're ready to attack, and all these other cars are stepping up. Dale's looking really well. Dixon, my teammate Spencer Massey ran a really good ET that last run. Tony's looking good, and we got to get back in there. Bernstein's up there #1 right now, so hopefully the sun starts trickling down a little bit, track is a little cooler, because we definitely want to move up, and we want to get ourselves in a good position for tomorrow. But the main thing is we're qualified, so it's anybody's day on race day, so that's what we're looking for.
Don't be surprised if they go all the way to #1 on their run.
Well, so far the track has allowed that, but just a little bit. You've got to really be able to figure it out. 104 degrees, the track temperature, Mike, as Mike Edwards and Alan Johnson come to the line. First, though, let's go to Gary Gerald.
We'll check in here. Larry Morgan holding court here with Jason Line. Larry, pardon me while I lean over your shoulder. We got to take care of some business here.
Go away, Larry. He already doused me with water here, too.
62. What you were hoping for, or were you looking for even more? These conditions are so tricky here in Las Vegas.
I wanted to go 59, but I don't think that's possible. 62 is pretty good. I don't know. It's all relative. We'll see what Edwards goes, but our Summit cars, we're back on track here, I think, and really excited about tomorrow. So hopefully we can go win a couple of rounds and or win the race and get this thing done.
Guy Morgan never gives up, does he? He's always dumping you something on you.
Hey, that guy's tough.
Larry Morgan's all over everybody. So much fun. Mike Edwards and Alan Johnson. AJ was the #1 qualifier here last year. Mike Edwards is currently #1. Alan Johnson is 3rd. And Alan Johnson gets out of it. What does Mike Edwards have? 6:62. So that's kind of consistent with everything else we've seen. His #1 speed was a 6:59, but this 6:62, that is low of the session, and with it there are 3 little points to be picked up as well. Down at the bottom there, Greg Anderson faces Steve Kent. Anderson, remember, is very fixed on coming in #2 in the countdown. His teammate may clinch tomorrow.
On the side of the ladder, Jason Line looking to lock up the championship. He's first going to have to get around big gains in his first round matchup. And then Vincent Nobile running for that Rookie of the Year. He's not going to have lane choice in his first round matchup with Larry Morgan.
Back to the top end and Gary Gerald.
With the #1 qualifier, Mike Edwards, how disappointing was it to acknowledge the fact somewhere in recent events that you weren't going to be able to get a championship this year?
Well, I mean, we struggled going into it a little bit, and then Jason just caught a fire and just, he just dominated the class in the last 4 or 5 races where he's really been the fastest dominant car, consistent car all year long. So,
have you caught on fire now?
I don't know. We're definitely working hard. I can tell you that, Gary. Hats off to all my guys. It's the end of the season. We're not going to win the championship, but you know what? We're still trying hard and try to finish the best we can. That's all we can do. But for Penn Hall, K&N, and ART, and all those fine folks and Interstate Batteries, just thanks for all those guys. Thanks to Paul Hoskins, too.
Thank you.
Bye.